Roxo Media House.
Hey Frog fans, welcome inside the Flying T Club studio here at Roxo Media House. I'm Sutton MacTavish.
And I'm Patton with the TCU Beach Volleyball team.
We're excited to bring you along for an exhilarating journey through TCU's sports scene. From unforgettable performances to electrifying moments, we've got you covered. Grab your favorite jersey, gather your friends, and get ready to dive into all the TCU sports action you crave. Brought to you by Frogs Today. In today's show, we'll provide coverage of both men's and women's tennis, men's golf, and track and field, specifically the woman who had a successful weekend in Austin, Texas.
Additionally, we'll take a closer look at equestrian in the Big 12 Championship, baseball heading into another 3-game series after sweeping Houston, and beach volleyball after their play in the Death Valley Invitational.
We will also bring you the latest from men's swim and dive after the NCAA Championship, a recap on Football Pro Day, and lastly, hear from TCU football's head coach, Sonny Dykes, on the team's spring training so far. So much to get to after a quick word from one of our sponsors. We will dive into all of our exciting updates when we return. Stay tuned.
We're lucky to have a collective that's as strong and as powerful as the Flying T Club. It's a big deal for us. It is a game changer. You know, I would just encourage any fans out there to support it. Everyone asks me, what's the biggest priority? And I say, NIL is big. Please jump on board, show these student athletes how much they mean to you. The thing about NIL is I think there's a right and a wrong way to do it, and the Flying T Clubs do it the right way. Let's keep winning. Join the Flying T Club today.
Welcome back, Frog Nation, from the Flying T Club studio here at Roxo Media House. I'm your host, Sutton MacTavish. Switching our focus to TCU Baseball, the Horned Frogs faced Houston last weekend and swept the series, winning all 3 games. This is the first sweep of the Big 12 this season for the Frogs. Thursday, being the first night of the series, was the biggest victory the Frogs have had this season, scoring 14 runs, and only letting Houston score 1 run. This game also marked head coach Kirk Saarloos' 100th career victory as head coach.
You reached 100 wins in your career here at TCU, fastest, youngest to do that ever.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Does that mean much to you? Do you get time to absorb what that actually means?
Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't know until they announced it, and I think Meredith came out or Sean came out, Sean Connor, and said congratulations. I had no idea. If you get in the business of counting wins and losses like that, I already have gray hair. I don't need any more. So, but it's always, any milestone I think is really cool. Mm-hmm. To reflect on really the coaches that I've coached with and the players that we've had, and I think anytime that you reach those kinds of things, that's the first thing you think about is all the great players and human beings and coaches that you've been able to be around.
On Tuesday night, the Frogs headed to Arlington, Texas to take on the Mavericks for the second time this season. Falling short with a score of 6-4, the Frogs fall to 20-8 overall. Coach Kirk Saarloos talks about their season so far on the latest episode of State of the Frogs.
But it was a weekend that we really needed to at least win 2 out of 3 and hopefully sweep, just because, coming into that weekend you're 2-7 in conference. Now we have 6 extra games this year compared to years past, where usually you have 24 conference games. Now we have 30. So, but at the same time, 2-7, it's still the same 2-7. So we have some more time to get back to where we want to get to, but we needed that for sure.
Tonight they are on the road in Cincinnati, Ohio to face the Cincinnati Bearcats for a 3-game series, with the first pitch scheduled at 4 p.m., tomorrow at 1 p.m., and Sunday at 11 a.m.
They're kind of in the middle of the pack like we are in the Big 12, and so they kind of do it all. They have one guy have 11 home runs, another guy with 8. They also have about 66 stolen bases as a team. So they do a lot of different things. We're going to have to defend it well. We're going to have to pitch well. It always starts and ends with pitching and defense. So we're going to need to do those 2 things well, and then get opportunities and timely hitting on offense and take care of business. So it's back on turf. We're playing on turf first time in a little bit, and so it's going to be cold. It's going to be high of 45, maybe something like that. So it's going to be cold Friday and Saturday. Sunday's a little bit better. So, but I'm excited to go out there. That's actually where we had Brady, our first kid, Kristen and I, was born in Cincinnati when I played for the Reds. So haven't been back there since. So it'll be fun to kind of revisit and see my old stomping grounds in terms of at least for 1 year with the Reds.
They will look to advance their conference record during this series. TCU men's tennis shut down the 26th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys in Stillwater, Oklahoma, 4-0 last weekend. With this victory, the Horned Frogs improved to 16-3 overall and 2-2 in Big 12 play. The Horned Frogs returned back home yesterday, where they will play the rest of their conference season matches with the exception of SMU in Dallas. They faced BYU and were able to come away with a victory over the Cougars.
All right, let's go. What's up? We've got Duncan Chan with us here today, the clincher in today's match against BYU with a 5-0 win for the TCU Horned Hogs. Duncan, did I say that right? I said Horned Hogs? That's impressive. TCU Horned Frogs. All right, Duncan, tell me about the match today. What worked well? Why were you able to finish so well on court today?
I actually returned well. Sorry for my voice, by the way. I returned very well. I got most of my games from breaks. Unfortunately, I did not do very well in serve, but we pulled through.
You did. Hey, don't be so negative. You played very well today, especially with a terrible voice. But did you give us a come on today at least? Was there anything out of your voice today?
Yeah, I worked up all my my strength at 4-3 deuce. Finally holding serve for the first time in the match, and I ripped a come on, and then my throat died after that.
Proud of the guys. They were just so happy to play in front of our fans. Thought we had a great showing. A lot of middle schoolers that came out. That's always fun to see a younger generation come out and maybe first time they're on campus, on a college campus. So a lot of pluses. Like the way we squeaked the doubles point out and then took care of singles. So yeah, it's a good start here back home.
Yeah, finally back home after 2-3 weeks on the road. I think we did a great job from the beginning. Doubles 2 and 3, great energy, coming up with clutch points at the end. Shout out to Kai and Tommy, they've been playing great. They've been giving us every doubles they've been playing. And then I thought everyone in singles came up with a lot of energy from the beginning. We didn't want this to be longer than it had to be, so yeah, great match.
I love the way our guys had many opportunities and they didn't let it get in their heads, and they kept it going, kept going, and then finally at 4-all or 5-all broke through. On the part that we need to do better is too many missed opportunities earlier in the set. I think at number 6 singles we had 6 break points and didn't break serve in the second set. At number 4 singles we didn't win the set until the 7th set point. So we got to clean that up, but there's always something to clean up. And just happy for our guys to be able to play home and get another conference win.
Their Big 12 record now stands at 3-2 and 17-3 on the season. They will play at home again tomorrow against Texas Tech with huge goals of securing another conference win. TCU men's golf played at the Goodwin last Thursday, with play concluding on Saturday at TPC Harding Park. On Thursday, the Horned Frogs shot 20 over 300 and ended in 31st place as a team. On Friday, the team saw improvement with Andrew Petruzzelli playing TCU's best round of the day, only shooting 2 over 72. Play concluded at the Goodwin on Saturday with the Frogs experiencing an exceptional performance. The Horned Frogs shot 17 strokes better than Friday's round, with a score of 2 over 282 in the final round. The Horned Frogs next compete at the Hawkeye Invitational April 13th and 14th in Iowa City, Iowa. Good luck, boys! Shifting gears to women's outdoor track and field, the 4x800 team capped off a successful weekend at the Clyde Litterfield Texas Relays. The team won the program's first ever Texas Relays 4x800 championship with their school record time of 8 minutes and 31 seconds. Muhammad Graham's kick in the last 200 meters propelled the Horned Frogs to the gold. From April 11th to the 13th, TCU Track and Field will participate 3 separate meets. The distance squad is set to compete in both the Brian Clay Invitational and the Long Beach Invitational, while the remainder of the team will attend the Tom Jones Invitational. We wish you the best of luck, Horned Frogs. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Hey Frog Nation, welcome back to this episode of Frogs Today inside the Flying T Club studio. I'm Tara Patton. The TCU equestrian team engaged in an exhilarating battle against the reigning Big 12 champions, Oklahoma State, during the conference championship held last Saturday. The Horned Frogs narrowly missed victory with a final score of 10-9 as the outcome rested on the final ride of the day. The Horned Frogs set their sights on the NCEA National Championship Tournament April 18th through to the 20th in Ocala, Florida at the World Equestrian Center, where they sit at the top seed, taking on UC Davis in the first round.
This team has really been working together for the last 4 years, and this is something that the senior class really was a huge part of as their freshman group, and they've really been building upon this for the last 4 years. They made a commitment to each other during that crazy COVID year where they were really going to put the team first. They were going to put each other first, and that has really carried forward over the last, now I guess 3.5 seasons, or we're just about at the end of the 4th season, and those results are really coming forward, and that fruit is finally ripe from the tree that they planted, and it's just a lot of timing, but a lot of commitment to each other.
Good luck, ladies. TCU Beach Volleyball just wrapped up play in one of the toughest tournaments of the regular season. Number 4 ranked TCU fell to number 1 USC 5-0 and number 2 UCLA 5-0 on day 1 of the Death Volley Invitational last Friday. On the final day of the tournament, TCU split the day after falling to number 3 Stanford 2-3, but defeating number 6 Cal 3-2. TCU's Haley Hamlet and Sutton MacTavish had a perfect day, 2-0 for the Frogs.
The hardest weekend in college for beach volleyball. And I think, I don't want to say ever, but kind of, because we were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, playing against each other pretty much. And it was hard. It was a great atmosphere down in LSU. They do a great job there with the facilities and how they bring the college atmosphere to the game, and that's good for the girls to experience. So, and the level of playing, right? It's like I'm pretty much like every other coach, I would say, or you want to think so, that you're not gonna get the best if you don't play against the best. So we're scared of nothing. We just go and play because we can compete and play against anyone, and the girls needed that too. They needed to see it. They needed to experience it. And if they like few times during the year, even better. And don't really like to play one and done against the top teams, because I think it's as many you play against them, you can lose, of course, but also you get to raise your bar each time you play against them. And the girls are on the same page. It's a little bit scary in the beginning. You say, oh, we're gonna play this one back to back, and maybe in 2 weeks we're gonna play them again. Because we play USC the week before, 2 weeks before we play them again, and they're number 1 in the country. And, we got the same outcome. We lost them both, but we're really close still. So it's good for them to see it, because what it really matters when we go to nationals, and it's one and done pretty much. If you win, you stay. If you lose, you go home. But you need to put yourself in that situation prior to get to nationals. If not, it's I don't think that that stress level, that anxiety, that competitiveness is not going to show right away if you haven't put yourself in that situation before.
The Horned Frogs now sit at 19-5 on the season as they head back to Fort Worth for the TCU Invitational. Play will take place at the TCU Beach Volleyball courts starting today. TCU will open up competition against HCU at 11 a.m.
Hi Frog fans, I'm Sutton MacTavish with the beach volleyball team. Please come out and support us this weekend. We have our senior night, Saturday night after our game against Texas. We would really appreciate it, and we can't wait to see you there.
Now let's turn our attention to the men's swim and dive. Alec Hubbard and Elliot Dillon headed to Indianapolis, Indiana last weekend to compete in the platform diving event at the NCAA Championships. These 2 divers qualified for the NCAA Championships after their performance at the NCAA Zone Diving Championships. The Big 12 Conference held its first ever Pro Day event at the Star in Frisco, Texas, spanning from March 27th to the 30th. 17 Horned Frogs received invitations to partake in the event, which encompassed combine workouts, media interactions, and various other activities.
I think it has its ups and downs. Like having a big event like this obviously is great for the conference, and I think also, NFL and players in general, because they have so many eyes on them. Everybody's here. It feels like the combine. Like you get to get the full experience. Obviously, it's great to have the guys around at TCU. I was excited for that when I was watching Steve and Alon do it last year, being able to support them there, warming up. Your coaches are there, your players are there, fans are there. But it felt like being at TCU, we had most of the coaches here. coming out and watching, and it was great to have them support us. And also we had 3 TCU guys here, and a bunch of guys I trained with, so it was still a great experience.
Yeah, there was a lot of scouts out there. It was just a good experience overall.
I think this is a good opportunity for guys that don't necessarily get to go to the combine, that didn't get that opportunity. It's kind of like a second combine for real. Like with the Big 12, it's the first time they're doing it. I've never heard of anything else like this. So it's a great opportunity. We got all teams here. We got a bunch of scouts. I think more people came out than what would normally come out, if it was just at the school. So I think it was a great experience.
I honestly think it went very well. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of a little bit skeptical in the beginning just because I didn't know how it was going to go. This is somebody else who's not the NFL Combine trying to put on a Combine type style. And I at first I was skeptical, but now that I came here, you're staying at the Omni that is literally attached to this facility. You walk downstairs through the lobby, you come out here. They have everything around. The star is beautiful. There's a lot of stuff around here, that has all the facilities to take care of an NFL Combine-like setting. And I think they did a very good job.
TCU boasts several players with aspirations to be selected in the forthcoming 2024 NFL Draft.
17 guys out here from TCU. How cool is it to see your guys out here with you?
Yeah, it's the best feeling ever. I've sweat, bled, cried, did a whole bunch of stuff going to war with these guys. So just seeing them, just chase their dreams just like I am. I'm so proud of everybody that's here right now. There's been a lot of things that all of us have had to overcome. Just seeing that they could do it and seeing them out here excelling, it makes me really proud.
With TCU football completing its 5th practice of the spring, Sonny Dykes reflects on how his team is performing so far.
I like the way we're practicing, and I like the way that we're playing. There's a lot of depth and tons of competition. When you sit down and you look at all the DBs and across the board and corners, safeties, nickels, you look at the linebackers, we got a lot of linebackers that are competing. I think that those areas in particular, the competition's really good. And same thing up front defensively, with the defensive line. The biggest thing we got to do, number one, is take care of the football. I think that's the thing that we'll learn from today's film is, we made some mistakes with the football. I thought we got a little bit careless with the ball, and that can't happen. We go to it all the time. We talk to our team about it all the time, but, all you have to do is look at our record when we win the turnover battle or we're even, as opposed to when we lose it. And so it all begins with, taking care of the football at that position, making good decisions, distributing the ball, getting it to the right people. And I think that, Ken and Haas have both done that, pretty consistently so far. And in particular for 2 guys that are new to the offense, I really think we're ahead of schedule. And both those young men, I think are ahead of where I thought they would be right now. Ken's got a lot of experience playing, but it's his first go in this offense. And then Haas ought to be getting ready for the prom, and I think that's the great thing about him is, he transitioned in here. He looked like he belonged in the offseason, just in terms of his preparation, his maturity, his athleticism. And then as we moved into spring ball, he looks like he belonged in terms of his knowledge of the offense and his ability to go out and execute. So feel good about the position, like both those guys and the way that they're performing. I think we're having a good battle right now, to see who's going to come out of spring, and end up being the starter or the backup, depending on what happens with Josh. So anyway, I like the group. We just got to continue to get better. And as I said, we got to figure out who the best 8 or 10 are going to be. I'm hoping that we can have 10 guys that we feel good about playing. And if you do that, then typically you're going to have a good offensive line. But there's going to be a lot of kind of moving parts through the spring. And as I said, we got to get settled in when we get into fall camp in August and make sure that everybody's on the same page and those guys complement each other. And that brings out the best in the offensive line. I think that's the key for us. Again, we're early, a third of the way through. So what always happens is spring ball is always fun and exciting. You get started, everybody's ready to go, and you kind of hit the middle of it. And you got to make sure that you have no bad practices. We get 15 days to get better. We got to take advantage of every single one of them. We can't have any days where we're average or we go out and we don't perform at a high level.
There you have it. The TCU Horned Frogs are dialed in and ready to make some noise next season. Stay tuned next week for more updates from this TCU Horned Frogs football team. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
It's been a blast hosting this week's episode of Frogs Today. For everyone behind the scenes here at Roxo Media House, I'm Sutton MacTavish.
And I'm Tara Patton. Thanks for watching this week's show, and thank you for always supporting our beach volleyball program. Please like and subscribe to Frogs Today for the best coverage of TCU athletics. Until next week, go Frogs!
Roxo Media House.